So as promised in my live feed the other night, y'all are going to get a toolbox tour of my Snap-on Dale Earnhardt Richard Childress box here. This box is a limited edition box. It's number 30 of 4200, and I'll tell you the story at the end of this video of how I got it and wound up with the box and all that. But the story goes, this box was actually, and Dale got killed in 2001. I was a huge number 3 fan. That's where the 3 comes from on Cotton Top 3 too. And this box was in the works to be done, and I'll open the lid on here in just a second too. It was in the works to be done, and it wasn't even built till after he was killed. And so it's got all the original Sam Bass stuff on it. A lot of y'all who've been around racing for a long time know who Sam Bass is, the mural stuff on it. And it's even still got the protective film on them. And so I'm gonna stop the camera right quick, and I'm gonna open the lid so you can see the mural that's underneath the top of the lid, and then we'll start going through the box. So y'all just hang tight just a second. So this is what the box looks like with the top lid open. You can see the mural right there. See Sam Bass 2001 right up there on the top left. Like I said, it's still got the protective film on it. Well, you can see the sticker right there. And I've left it on there. It'll always stay on there. I'll never remove it as long as I own the box. It's a very large box. The box is a little better than 70 inches tall. So it's actually taller than I am, and it's 54, I believe it's 54.25 wide. Let me double check that. Yes, it's 54.25 wide. Like I said, a little better than 70 inches tall. Very heavy box. I'll explain getting it here, but I was pretty ecstatic to be able to get my hands on it. So we're going to kind of start at the top. I have a lot of tools. I have been collecting mechanics tools since I was about 8 or 9 years old, and so it's been a long time. I actually got robbed. I was on a mission trip over in Fort Worth, Texas back in 2007, I believe it was. Had my truck broke into. I had about $3,000 worth of tools stolen that hurt me pretty bad. And it actually was stolen from the people that we were working doing the mission trip for the group that we were trying to help out there, the homeless people. And that was a tough pill for me to swallow. It really was. And I'll get into that another day. But so I do have a lot of Snap-on stuff. I don't have everything Snap-on, and this is not all of my tools either. I have tools in my truck, and I also have some tools at the house too. So I wasn't going to bring them all down here and put them in. So we're going to kind of start up, and it's not a perfectly organized. I really hadn't done anything to the box to kind of prepare y'all for this or anything like that. We're going to start from the top and go down. That's what we're going to do. This top drawer right here just has some whatnot stuff in it, just some different things, because I can't see up in there unless I get up on my very tiptoes to see in it, but just some few squares and stuff like that. And in this drawer right here has all of my torch stuff in there, rosebuds, different tips, brazen tips, all that stuff like that, cute Scotch-Brite pads up there, my circle cutter and all that stuff like that. This next drawer right here has electrical stuff and things in it like that, like soldering. I keep my thread tape in there. This is one of my, this is a Blue Point set right here by Snap-on right there. Real nice set. I bring it out on special stuff and things like that. This is a soldering iron in there, and then I've got the Milwaukee cordless soldering iron right there too. From time to time I've done a lot of soldering over the years. This right here is just electrical stuff. My fluke test meter goes in this. I had a dear old lady that used to make me all kind of covers for my stuff, and she used to make it in leopard print things. But my Bosch lasers right there, different electrical tools, test light. There's another Craftsman test meter. This is where all my soapstone stays right there, round and square soapstone. Piston ring compressor right there. I use it on a lot of hydraulic cylinders and stuff like that, or I used to when we were packing a lot of our own. Have a lot of squares. I have a ton of tape measures. I love tape measures. You can't have too many tape measures because I can't ever find a freaking tape measure. Levels, lots of levels, different things. And then I got a whole box of specialty tools that are like these right here that are Craftsman brand in there. Temperature gun. I wish I had about $40,000 or $50,000 and I just outfit this entire thing with nothing but Snap-on. I love Snap-on stuff. It's very expensive, but it is some very, very, very good tools. And so right here is just nothing but some manuals. I have shims for center sections on John Deere's. Used to do a lot of John Deere center section work on skidders here in my shop by myself. This is just a kind of a catch-all drawer. It has all kinds of little parts and different things that I use, like scissors, Sharpies, things like that. Welding parts from my welder. I keep goop in there. There's my saw tachometer that a lot of y'all ask me about all the time right there. There it is, that I use for the 2-strokes when I'm tuning them and all that. So this just has a little bit of everything in this drawer. And then we drop down to this drawer. There's a Snap-on tap and die set. I keep blades, cut off wheels. So this is just all kinds of different stuff. Let's see. Those are cool. If you do a lot of work on stuff and you jack up threads on really large things, these right here are very handy for rethreading stuff. Work very well. This is a monster. Snap ring pliers. And just a whole bunch of other different stuff in there. Like I said, blades, stuff like that. This is a lot of my air stuff. Air chucks for air nut tires, air gauge, air blower. There's a couple of blowers in there, different air chucks, all kinds of different stuff in there. Let's see. Couple die grinders. I don't hardly use much air stuff anymore since the cordless stuff. You know, we're getting into the real meat of things right here. This is all the standard sockets. I have impact sockets all the way up to 3 inches. See all of those over there on that wall right there. Those are standard and deeps over there. And then, like I said, in some of these, see, that's a 2 7/8. That's a Snap-on. That's a right. One of these. That's a right. And I think this is no, that's a Snap-on right there also. A lot of my Snap-on stuff came off of eBay. I used to do a lot of stuff on eBay. Well, Let's Dig just sent me a text. There's some impact Torx bits. These are those are wobbles. Yes, 1/2 inch drive. All those are wobbles right there. So this is this is 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 1/2 inch drive right here. And those are 3/8 wobbles right there. So that's all standard right there in that drawer. Okay. This drawer just keeps all of my big stuff in here. Pry bars, stuff like that. Let me check. Air ratchets and stuff. And like I said, I don't hardly use any air anymore at all. But this is one of my most prized. This is one of the covers that Miss Lillian made for me right here. This is one of my prized possessions right here. This is a Snap-on. It's a 3/4 drive ratchet. This is the L872 with the bar on it. I actually bought this head for it brand new off of eBay. And I used to be pretty dirty on eBay back when, before people were what I used to call sniping. And I would wait before they had a timer. I would set my stopwatch to down to the last couple of seconds, and within the last 2 seconds I would throw in a bid, and I would usually always get it. Now some of my other I got some of my nice snap-on ratchets. They stay in my truck because I like using them in the woods sometimes. I'll put that cover back on in a minute. I actually made an order of these pry bars right here, these Dominator pry bars, these long ones right here. And I ordered one, and they sent me 6. See, there's 2 more brand new ones right there. They messed up. I contacted them, and they wouldn't even, they told me just be thankful I was lucky that day. So, ended up with 6 of them, put 2 of them on the service truck. All right, let's do this. Let's start over here first on this side. We'll go down this small side right here. This drawer right here just has a lot of small stuff in it. I love that thing right there. I keep a digital caliper in there. There's the key to the toolbox right there. And all kinds of different whatnot stuff right there that use and grab. I love this drawer because it's got this workstation on it where you can set manuals and stuff like that on it and work off of it. This is nothing but screwdrivers right here. There's some of the Milwaukee screwdrivers that they sent me. Just a you can't never have too many screwdrivers. They're kind of like 10mm sockets. They always go missing. This is nothing but pliers right here. It is what it is. All the time having pliers go missing. Y'all know how it goes. These are just vice grips, stuff like that. Like I said, not by no means organized at all. This is all just Allen stuff right here, and some Torque stuff there too. This drawer right here just has a little bit of everything. I keep my gloves. I keep all of my C-clamps in here. I keep socks in here, the old socks, because they work perfect for like wrapping stuff up, things like that. I always keep cotton pads or cotton balls and alcohol for cleaning stuff off. These right here work great for wiping stuff off too. I keep a lot of rubber gloves in here. People make fun of the rubber gloves and things like that wearing them, but man, the grease and the oil and all that stuff like that. So this comes to the standard end wrench drawer right here. This is just a mix. There's some gear wrenches in here. These are the Milwaukees with the ratchet heads on them. Got some Craftsman there, some more Craftsman and Craftsman over here, and got some stubbies right there. You can't ever have too many end wrenches either. This is the metric end wrench drawer right here. These are the Milwaukee ones right here. These are actually very good wrenches right here. I wouldn't say they're not the quality of a that's in the wrong place. They're not going to be at the level quality of like a Snap-on, but they're very good though, for what you pay for them. I know Craftsman, they really come on around the last few years. That they were right before they Sears started closing a bunch of stores down, and they got up like a lot of the Snap-on stuff. Got real nice quality, not the quality of Snap-on. And I understand a lot of people. I mean, Snap-on's high stuff. This is all punches and chisels and things like that. Race drivers. These are race drivers right there. That's a max set right there, full set of them. Files here and just different things. I use these all threads right here and all these washers and nuts and stuff, pulling bushings in like on steer cylinders and stuff like that when I was breaking machines in half here in my shop. I wish I was filming back then, boy. I could have made some videos back then. This is the metric socket drawer right here. There's your impact stuff. There's your wobbles right there. That's 1/2-inch drives. And then there's a 3/8 drive wobbles. I like a wobble now. And then I got some 1-inch drive metric impact stuff right there. Not a lot. This is all hammers and a full 3/4 drive set of Craftsman stuff right here. Yeah, you still them in a set right there. Yep. I worked on the scooter one day and put it back together, and I had this one laying in the center section, and I cranked it up and I steered it, and I heard something break, and it was that handle on that hammer right there. Thought, how lovely. This is a snap-on dead blow. Hit it one day. This one just recently got replaced. Hit it one day and it completely disintegrated. The plastic on it just disintegrated in my hands, and I was like, what the actual heck, man. This is probably my favorite hammer. A little short handle, little sledgehammer. Made this hammer right here when I went to metal trades on a lathe and mill and stuff. Made that one. These are just big end wrenches right there. And this is just pry bars, pipe wrenches. I've got a vacuum pump. I've got a bearing grease packer right there. This is a set of body panel tools right there to pop body panels off with, hacksaw, stuff like that. There's a small pulley puller right there. I have a giant one over there, sitting over there and on the shelf over there. So that kind of concludes that tour right there. All right. So here's the story behind this box right here. How did I get it and all that? Because these boxes right here are new. I think were about $10,000 brand new. In 2002, Jill and I had just built this place right here, built the shop and the house, and then moved in. And I believe it was 2003. A good friend of mine who has a shop here in Columbus had this box, and I went by his place one day, and he had 3 of these boxes. And I went by his place and I said, man, I'd love to have that. He said, well, I'm trying to sell it. And he's talking about putting it on eBay and everything like that. And I said, what would you like to have for it? And he said $7,500. And I said, man, I can't. I said, I can't do that. I said, you just have to, I just have to pass on it. And I didn't try to talk him down on it or anything, And so several months went by, and my phone rang one day, and it was him. And he said, Tim, he said, I know you want that box. And he said, I'd really like for you to have that box. He said, I hadn't sold it yet. He said, would you be willing to give me $4,500 for that box? And I called Jill up and I told her, and she said, you've always wanted one of those boxes like that. And she said, you ought to go ahead and get it. And I called him back and I told him, I said, I'll take it. I said, I'd like to have it. He said, well, he said, I know you'll keep it, and take good care of it and have it forever. And so I went and got it. I had a huge Craftsman box, but this thing with no tools in it's very heavy anyhow. And I happened to have a trailer that was perfect to haul it on. Went down there, we loaded it with a forklift, and then brought it here. And I had somebody come over here and help me unload it here, and then set it up, get it rolled in place. And I've only moved it one time since I've had it in place right here. But that's just something that this is something that I'll cherish forever, that that I'll always have. What's cool is I have a neighbor that lives right here next door to me. He's got 2 of these boxes. He's got one that's similar to this one, that's a little bit older than mine. It's an Earnhardt box. And then he's got an Earnhardt Championship box. That's a smaller one. And I'll talk to him and I'll see if I can't do a tour with him. He's actually a very seasoned mechanic, and very an incredible mechanic, and worked at a dealership for years and years and years. And he and I are the same age. And matter of fact, his brother is an engineer for NASCAR. I was so caught up in NASCAR, man. I love NASCAR. All the way through the late 80s, all the way through the 90s, and then Dale got killed, and it wasn't ever really the same for me once Dale got killed. And then I still followed it pretty religiously, And then in 2007, Jill and I went to Charlotte and we toured almost every, we did this on our vacation, just me and Jill, and we toured almost every race shop that was involved with NASCAR. DEI was still going at the time. We went to Richard Childress, which they're outside of Charlotte. They're a pretty good little piece. Richard Childress is about an hour outside of Charlotte. So that was a really cool trip. And then my neighbor's brother that works for NASCAR, that's when they were developing the newest Busch Series cars, what I call Busch Series. They're not Busch anymore. But he took us through the R&D place. He got us in there. That's when they were testing the tire tethers and stuff, so I got to see them do some of that stuff. Just a very cool experience. And so that's the story behind this box. I wanted to do a toolbox thing, and like I said, I've got a lot more tools in this. It's impossible to gather all of them up and bring them in here and then take them back out and set them back out. But I wish I had somebody that was a professional that was really good at organizing and could come. I could get them to come in here and just lay everything out and you know, really fix it up for me. You know, because I see some of these guys, some of these pictures of these toolboxes, you know, these guys have, and everything is just, you open it up, man, everything is just perfect in there. You know, and I really don't know how to, you know, I don't know how to do that. But so, like I said, that's just part of my world here. I appreciate y'all watching my stuff. For those of y'all who are new, I'll do a pan around of my shop here real quick. It's a 40 by 60 where you can kind of see it. It's got a lot of new people here, and kind of show you what I got in here too. So y'all hang tight. So let's walk in door over there. Got me a refrigerator right there and a freezer over there too. The main big door, it's a 14 by 14, and it's on. It's electric, got wireless and all that good stuff. Got a keypad out there too. But you can kind of see what I got. I've got two, I believe those are 90,000 BTU infrared. I think that's what they are. I can't remember. I got two of them. I just put them in February. You can kind of see. Got a flat screen in here. I do have fiber optic Wi-Fi out here also too. I've got all the branches of the military in here, plus a big American flag. All of my lights are LEDs up there. I do have air conditioning in here, central unit in here, with the duct runs right down the center. My compressor sits right over there. I prefer it inside rather than outside, and that way the temperature kind of stays good on it, you know, as far as condensation and stuff like that goes. Keep my boat in here. I'm fixing to do something different with my boat and my tractor and Mini and everything, hopefully anyhow. So that's another door. That's a 10 by 12 opening door right there, because I intended on putting a car lift in here, and I probably will one day, like a bin pack or something like that in here, installing in here, and I'll probably do that. That's a bathroom. We actually lived in here for a little while. Bathroom, got a full shower and everything in there. That right there is a reloading room. Nothing but reloading stuff up in there. I've never showed that. I am a gun nut. There's some stuff that some people just don't really need to see. That's my tractor, 5075E John Deere. That is a 2017 model. This is my Mini, my Kubota KX 057-4. I just bought it brand new in March. I'm a Player 700 4-wheeler over there. So that's the shot real quick right there. And so there you go. I appreciate y'all watching. All the clickable stuff's right down below. Guess I had this lit up, my two Milwaukee lights right here. So I was using to light up that with. But anyhow, everything's right down below. Appreciate all the new people who have showed up, especially from Chris's channel and stuff like that. So I just like to have fun. I like huge equipment, big equipment, heavy equipment, tractors, excavators, stuff like that. So we'll catch y'all later. Later, Taters.